And here we go for another ride. Second ride up here at the lake with the beast. We won't go on the trails this time. We'll just kind of ride around a little bit shorter this morning. And adjust the camera there. It was looking at the sky. And just kind of going through the campground here. Have a nice little ride. Do some pedaling. The other nice thing about the e-bike is, I can get some exercise and just turn the power down. We're on PAS1 right now. Keep it pretty mellow. Gives me a little boost. I got it at about 6% overall power, so it gives me 130 watts additional power or so. And so actually makes me pedal enough to set off my intensity tracker on my phone for tracking exercise. Nice quiet place here. Especially this time of year, there's very few people around, and kind of got the place to yourself. Do a lot of winter camping up here. Probably do some winter camping videos with the bell tent and the wood stove. As I mentioned, probably we'll be doing some videos on hobbies, e-bikes, amateur radio. I'm a ham operator. I do a lot of projects around the house. I don't feel like pedaling. It's cold this morning, 32 degrees. So I'll use a little bit of extra throttle up the hill. One thing I love this bike, my first year plus, my wife got me secondhand a Radwagon 3 cargo bike. It's a 750 watt, I believe, maximum power. I did between that and my regular bikes 1,000 miles on that in the first year, August to August 24, and we're going for 2,000 miles this year between all the bikes. I've got an old 2005-ish Specialized Sport road bike, and about a 97 Kona Blast mountain bike. And I took that mountain bike this year and put some studded tires on it. I wiped out pretty hardcore last year in the ice on the Radwagon. Just riding around the neighborhood in the morning, getting some exercise, and I was pretty banged up for a couple months, so I figure we'd go ahead and splurge on those and see if that helps a little bit and keep me riding through the winter, so I can keep up on my mileage. 2,000 miles seems like a lot, but it's 5.5 miles a day on average. So I miss a few days here and there. Weekends I'll do a little bit longer trips down some of the rail to trail options in the area in the Pacific Northwest here, and put in 30 to 60 miles and in a day. I tell you, after I do that, I'm whooped. But yeah, it's nice to get out in nature, get a little exercise, spend a little time just relaxing. Normally I listen to podcasts, but I've been kind of thinking about this whole YouTube thing, and one of my daughters is a teen and kind of interested in doing some of that TikTok YouTube stuff, and I'm not excited about that from a safety standpoint for her, so figured maybe I'd put together a little channel, if nothing else, just understand how it works, understand how to keep it secure, and as secure as any of that ever is, and then maybe help her along with if she wants to do some of that. We just kind of keep some good controls on it and try and make sure she's safe doing it. Kids are going to kind of post things, whether you're watching or not. As close as you watch, they'll still post stuff. So if I can keep her from posting things in a way that's dangerous, and that's kind of what I'd like to do. And who knows, maybe somebody out there will find my hobbies and projects and jibber jabber worth listening to. But we'll probably put in about 8 or 9 miles this morning. We've gone about 1.5 so far. This road doesn't go too far. And joins another dead-end road out here in the boonies. Not too much traffic, especially this time of the morning. So I got lights all over, lights on the bike, lights on me. Just trying to make sure I keep myself visible. Bright lime green raincoat. Not that it's raining, but it's great for the wind when it's this cold. And of course the safety vest, green safety vest. So yeah, I just finished building myself a fire pit in my house last weekend, and had I thought about it, that would have been a good first project, but I didn't film any of it. But I got plenty projects to go. I got a lot of work up here at the RV on the yard and clean it up. Got some repairs to do on the furnace, and of course camping. Do a lot of camping up here in the winter. Sometimes when everybody's super busy, I'll even throw that up in the backyard when my daughter's already interested in, sleeping in the tent, but we don't really have time to head all the way out here. She seems to like it, and as long as I can keep her engaged, figure that's a good thing. Life's rough on kids today. So excuse me. Yeah, I don't know if we'll see any wildlife this morning out here. It's late deer season, and this is no hunting area here with all the residential houses and everything in the park. So they seem to know it's safe to come down in here and hide in hunting season. So we've had some buck sightings, which we very seldom get in the park. Those were normally doe and babies, but there was a 4-point the other day, and a little 2-point buck yesterday. So they're hiding in the park from the hunters, which is fine. I used to hunt some, but I never was any good at it. Never really had anybody to show me what was the right way to do things, kind of before YouTube, where you could learn so much. And So it got a little crazy up here in Pacific Northwest. There's so little space left and so many people that yeah, I figured it's safer just stay home and find some other ways to spend my time. But yeah, we're coming to the end of this road here pretty soon, and we'll run on up to the other end of the other dead end. A pretty good hill coming here. I don't let it get too fast. Not that I mind going fast, but at the bottom where I got to turn, that intersection is always full of gravel and leaves and debris. It's been raining pretty good, so I think most of the leaves and debris are gone. But you know, I don't need to be crashing myself at you know, in mid 50s anymore. I need to be able to stay healthy and safe. So usually if you get here where the cars have been, it's not too bad. You don't have to worry about slipping out. Actually, I think this bike is a little bit better for that than the old rad wagon, being as it was you know, just street tires. It didn't seem to like much debris. This is a great bike. I still got it, use it, ride it quite a bit. I've had this wired cruiser. Now it's a version 2.0. I've had this about I don't know, 3 weeks, three and a half weeks, maybe 4 weeks. I don't remember. I got about 230 miles on it now. So yeah, it's a kick in the pants. If you look out there, a lot of the people doing reviews on the wired cruisers, they're all doing, you know, upwards of 40 miles an hour, and yeah, I don't need that. But what I did want was the ability to pull some of these hills with a bike trailer. There's a couple of spots within about 35 miles of the house one way that I can go throw a little bike trailer on the back and ride my way up and go camping for the weekend, either in a tent or a yurt. I probably do some of that this winter. I got the trailer built, it's ready to go. I've done a ride or two with it just around town with just a few things in it, just to see how it goes. And it's going pretty well. So eventually I'll probably want to get a fancy one. This is an old kids cart we used to pull our oldest around in when she was a little over 20 years ago, and it's just been sitting there in the garage hanging on the wall. So all of the cloth was pretty much shot, so I pulled it apart and put a little wood base on the bottom of it and some lights on the back. Yeah, more lights. And yeah, it's been I think it'll be a pretty good little unit. It says it'll take up to 100 pounds, but me alone on this bike, I'm pretty much I'm pretty much at the capacity of the bike for rider weight. I think it's a total of 400 pounds. We'll turn around here. It's this gravel is pretty deep and soft, so we'll try and make sure we stay in the more compacted areas, because I actually crashed here once too on the rad wagon. Got into that soft stuff and the front tire went right out of it. I think that's one of the things with that bike that I've noticed, is it's very back heavy. So when you get into anything soft and mushy like that, it just kind of, front end kind of seems to want to get away from you, and I don't want a front basket on it. So I lost my train of thought, but that's all right. This is life. Oh, but anyway, yeah, so got the bike pretty much squared away, and can maybe go do some winter camping in the yurts, so I don't have to take so much. This bike is, I believe it's 330 pound rider weight, might be 350, and the rack is 50 pounds. I'm 324 right now. Started this journey, I was pushing 350, so it's taken a long time. Finally learning I gotta not just do a little exercise on the bike, but I gotta change the diet too. I didn't think I was eating that bad till I started tracking it, and man, you start tracking how much you're actually eating, even when it doesn't seem like a lot. Some of those foods add up fast. One of my biggest problems was you know, like trail mix and nuts. You know, you don't stop to think that about a quarter cup of nuts could be upwards of a couple hundred calories. And you sit down with a big bag of nuts and eat, you know, half or 3/4 of a cup of nuts without even thinking about it. I mean, you just wiped out 600 plus calories of your daily calories, even though you think you're eating healthy. Meat was another one. Boy, I love a huge steak, but that's a lot of calories just in the steak. So it might be healthy, but you got to kind of watch the quantities better. So I've been trying to cut the quantities back, and it's working. I've finally got past I've been stuck at about a 335 pound plateau for a number of months this summer, and started tracking my food, and I dropped 10 pounds in about 2.5 weeks. So I know it won't keep up like that, it'll flatten out, but it's progress. It makes you feel good that something's actually working. So wife got a food freeze dryer, and I was kind of hesitant on it for quite a while. I figured it would be one of those things that you use a few times and it would sit there like so many of the kitchen gadgets you buy. And unfortunately, she's been freeze drying candy like crazy. The good thing about that is, yeah, I don't care for it. Most of the freeze dried candy, as far as I'm concerned, if you want to eat candy, eat it the way it came. I don't want it all changed and puffed up and like hard cotton candy. It doesn't do anything for me. But I figured I'd never use the darn thing, and they aren't cheap. But what I've found, you know, we'd buy fruit, because I always figured, you know, even though they say it's got carbs, stay away from carbs, it's fruit, it's natural. And we'd buy fruit, and it'd sit in the fridge. And half the time, half of it go rotten before I think to eat it, because it's not out of sight, out of mind. And I didn't care for it warm. Yeah, apples and oranges and stuff, I want it cold. So anyway, we started freeze drying fruit. And man, I think that's probably one of the biggest changes that's been helping me, is freeze dry tons of apples and bananas. Not a big, the oranges don't really work out so good, but apples and bananas, and I even did some canned fruit that we'd had sitting on the shelf for I don't know how long. That was getting close to its date, and just rinsed all the syrupy stuff off of it and freeze dried that. Peaches and pears and fruit cocktail, and man, it worked out great. Then I just take the baggies of that stuff down to my office. I work from home, and I just got that to nibble on all day long. I'm not getting into the crackers or the chips. We try not to have much of that in the house, but you know, we got a lot of kids around and stuff, so we do. have some. I'm gonna turn around here and head back. We're at almost 6 miles, so you know, should get close to my 11 miles today, which is 2 days worth of riding on my goal. So if we had some mighty cold days coming this week, if I can't get out too icy or nasty, I've made up for it. But anyway, yeah, so I can nibble on that fruit. I don't really care how much fruit I eat. Doesn't really seem to be a problem. So I think that's making a huge difference. I'm not just grabbing junk between meetings. I got that bag of fruit right there, and I'm good to go. And going back uphill here a little bit. So yeah, it's I think it's up to about 38 now. So starting to warm up. It's only going to be a high of about 42 or 43 today, I think it said. A lot of rain coming in about 9, so I wanted to get out early and make sure I got my ride in out here in the dingleweeds where it's nice and quiet. Probably log on and do a little work from home today. I got a few things that didn't quite get wrapped up this week that should have. It's just kind of how it goes. I'm in the IT profession, and some days there's enough issues that you can't get to what's planned. I'm sure that's with just about every profession, but so I got backed up a little bit yesterday on finishing off my week, but we'll get her done. Maybe have a little fire under the eave. I got one of those little, it's just a little like 12-inch fire pit, and it's kind of nice to sit out there with a small fire and watch the rain come down. You know, a little throttle here on this hill. I could probably just shift down a gear. Yeah, let's do that. We want the exercise, right? Sorry, huffing and puffing a bit here. So what else? Yeah, we got hobbies we can do some videos on. I've been working on restoring my grandpa's 1965 Ford heavy 3/4 ton pickup. Used to be an old farm truck with a dump bed. A number of years ago I got it all tore apart and sandblasted the frame, got it all painted up, ready to go, all new suspension. I been working on welding the the typical rust spots, the cab corners, front corners of the doors, and the front bottom edges of the front fenders. They were pretty rough. And sad thing is it was really, being a farm truck out in the wheat fields, all of the vent areas over the years had packed with dust from the fields, down in the drain holes. Had they ever vacuumed that out, that truck wouldn't have had a single bit of rust on it. It's really sad. But as a farm truck, you don't really think about things like that on farm truck. It's just out there to work. So it's a project that's stalled for a number of years now as the kids have grown up, and there's been so much to deal with getting them safely through the teens. It wasn't really time to be out there spending my weekends all weekend long on a darn truck, and unfortunately they just weren't interested, which is fine. I mean, they don't have to do what I do. No reason they gotta do what I do. They're their own people. I've always tried to hope and tell them that you can do whatever they want, able to do whatever they want, just apply themselves. They're good kids. So yeah, so we'll get back into getting that back on the road. Got my uncle's 1968 442. Dad had that for a number of years, and he passed away a few years ago, and so he didn't drive it much, and that's hard on him. So I've been dealing with a lot of little things here and there. Motor's been rebuilt, and you know, 92 I think it was, only had 2,500 miles on it when I got it, so it just wasn't driven. So I put throttle body fuel injection on it, rebuilt all the suspension underneath, wheels and tires, cleaned up some of the old wiring. It was getting pretty scary. I got a lot of wiring left to clean up on that over all the years of different people doing different things. It's kind of messy. Nothing bad, dangerous or anything, just kind of needs to be cleaned up, make some new wiring bundles and get them in there so we got good fresh wire and don't end up with a fire. But yeah, so I got more projects up here, like I was mentioning. Gonna do some landscape rockery, bricks really. Spread some gravel around. I got a stump to finish removing. I started trying to cut that thing up last year. The outside of it was all rotten, so I figured, oh, this will just come right out. And once you got in about 3 inches or so, maybe not even that far, 1.5 inches, just solid as a rock. It's like trying to cut petrified wood. It's been there, stump has probably been there close to 30 years. And it just is tougher than snot to cut. It just eats the chainsaw blades, and no, I'm not in the dirt. So yeah, we'll get that done this spring. We had to take a tree down last year. Huge, beautiful tree. It was about 3.5 foot in diameter at the base, but it was dying. And you can't afford to have that thing fall on somebody's place or my own. So we had that brought down, and I got a lifetime supply of wood to split sitting there. So we'll have to get on that this year. I've split up a bunch of it, but I got a lot of wood left to go. People come by and say, why don't you just rent a log splitter? As I could, but this is exercise for me. You know, it's surprising what swinging a splitting maul and hitting a wedge will do in a couple hours. Boy, it's a workout. So, especially when you don't do it all the time. So yeah, I'll whoa, see, there's almost bit it there. Gotta watch these dang rotten leaves on the side of the road. So luckily I had slowed way down. Yeah, the other thing on this bike, it's got so much power. You know, for a bike, you got to be real careful if you use the throttle in the turns, because you get your back tire in that, it'll go right out from underneath you. As this throttle is really touchy when you first engage it. So that back tire will go right out from underneath you. I've had that happen. Well, I didn't fall down, but I was making a turn in a park, and it was raining, light rain, and right in the middle of the turn was a steel grate, and I just started to hit the throttle, and that back tire slid to the side of the grate, hit the concrete, and stood me back up. So I didn't wipe out, but it was a lesson learned. But anyway, yeah, so lots of wood to split, and yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully won't be too boring. Like I said, really it's just kind of share life and my thoughts, and I probably won't get too much into politics or any of that. It's just not worth it. This year especially has been a rough run no matter which side you're on. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that and see how life turns out. I'm sure it'll be good for some. I'm sure some won't like it. But either way, you know, we got to come together. This country's got to come together. We gotta quit the extreme. Both sides. Find a middle ground. Work together and become a strong nation again. And take care of our people that need taken care of. And that's not really a blanket statement for just any old buddy wanting a handout. We need to take care of those that need to be taken care of, and I'll let that one go too. But yeah, hopefully we can be a better place in the future. Whichever way things go over the next 8, 10, 12 years, it always takes time for change to happen. So, but anyway, we're coming back to the lake here. We've gone, looks like almost 9 miles. So let's get out of them leaves. We'll do one little more pass down another road there in the park. Yeah, be close to, should be hopefully close to 11 miles. Yeah, we'll be close enough though. It's cold. My gloves are not doing enough. My fingers are froze, my toes are froze. And the funny thing is, I feel good. It's so much better than just sitting on the darn couch. I mean, you think sitting on the couch feels good. When you can't stand up, and you're stiff and sore, and you can't move, you can't sleep, you gotta get out and move. Get out in a little nature. Yeah, this isn't nature like a mountain or nothing, but get out and get some fresh air and sunlight when you can. Pretty nasty overcast day today, but you know, it's good to reduce the stress, good for the ticker. And you just, once you get rolling, you want to see other places. Kind of energizes you to go farther. I'm pretty much an introvert. Not one that always has to have 500 people around me. I run solo a lot outside of the family, and that's just kind of the way I like it. A couple really good, close, dear friends, and that's enough. The ones you can count on, the ones that can count on you, and the rest you got to make a decision on whether they're worth the time or not. Time is valuable, and time is always short. It seems to get shorter and shorter every day. I mean, I can't believe we're halfway through November already. I do not know where this year went. I started my 2,000 mile goal in August, mid-August. That's when I hit my 1,000 miles, August 23 to August 24. So I figured this year I'm going to shoot for 2,000, and I'm about 640 miles in now already, so almost 100 miles ahead of schedule, which is good because when the winter hits, yeah, I'm gonna potentially fall behind a bit. So trying to get a little bit ahead, and yeah, I mean, it just seems like I just started this journey to 2,000 miles, and I mean, we're already, you know, three plus months into it. So yeah, time flies. Pretty soon we'll have Christmas holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas coming. And I always like those times of year too. All the Christmas lights. I haven't done too much the last few years, a little bit on the outside, a little bit on the inside. The kids they're not past it, but you know, they're older now, but one's out of the house. And the youngest one is she's a little bit past it, and you know, having all the huge decorations out. She's not big on wanting to do a whole bunch of that. He's too interested in playing with her friends and running around. So we're at 9.9 miles. Looks like we'll get 10 today, and that's fine. That's good enough. We'll maybe do some more tomorrow. Yeah, there's 10 miles. So that's a pretty good run for this morning in this weather. We'll go ahead and shut her down, and if you found me, thank you for watching, and hopefully my video skills and my talking skills and all my ums will clean up as I get more experience. This is video number 2. So y'all take care. Have a great day.